What's up, guys? Q Carnahan, the Kaizen Man. Welcome to the channel that teaches you to eliminate the struggle, teach you about real estate investing and finance. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about tax liens. I'm going to go try to buy some houses for maybe 95 bucks, or maybe a $55,000 house for $2,000. This will vary wildly, not only depending on what state you're in or what country, but also what county you're in. Right now, there's a team of 3 of us. Each of us are going to a different county because in my state, the state of Missouri, all of the tax liens start auction at 10 a.m. today, the 23rd of August, every year. So with that, we all have to be on site. So that's where we're going to now. Tax liens 101. Somebody defaulted on their taxes, and the county decided they're never going to be able to get the money back. So they have the house come up on auction, and then people can bid on it. They're going to start the tax lien at how much that person owes for the taxes. So let's say somebody owes $1,000 in taxes and didn't pay it. Then the bidding starts at $1,000. All right. Currently in Dallas County, where I'm going, there are 15 or 20 houses that are available, and I'm interested in only 5 of them. So when they come up, then I'll find out how much they owe, and then I'll start bidding process. And let's say we get bid up to $2,000. Okay, well, I now bought the tax lien for $2,000, and then I pay the court or the county tax assessor $2,000, and then they give me the rights to it. Now, in my jurisdiction, in my state, I have to wait for 1 year. During that year, I am now responsible for all the fines. I'm responsible for mowing the grass. All the things come to me. Now, I can mow it, but now all that stuff I have to take care of. I keep track of it. I keep a record. 90 days before the 1 year mark of me owning the tax lien, I then have to go to all liens on the house. So if there's a mortgage in the house, I have to go to the bank and I gotta say, hey, if you wanna pay, this is what you do. Hey, Mr. Plumber, who the previous people never paid, this house is gonna go into tax foreclosure, I'm gonna take it. If you want to pay the taxes, you can do that. 90 days later, 90 days plus 1 day, I then return to the courts, return all the receipts, and then they will issue me the deed to the land, to the house. At any point in time during the year, the person who lives and owns the house can pay me back 100% plus 8% interest of the taxes, and anything else like the lawn mowing has to come back to me, and then they're automatically caught up on the taxes. I get my money back plus 8%. Now, they're only going to give 8% interest back on the tax portion. So if I paid $2,000, but they only owed $1,000 in taxes, I only get 8% back on the taxes of the $1,000. And then the extra $1,000, they're just going to give me back, plus anything I've ever put into it, like the mowing expenses, the whatever I had to do. So it's a pretty big risk. There's some legwork, but that's why I have the opportunity today to buy several houses in one commercial lot. Maybe the houses are worth about $40,000 to $55,000, but I might be picking them up for $1,000. So we're going to take you through that. This is unlike a BRRRR strategy, because if there's other liens against the house, I can't get my money back out by going to a bank and saying, hey, Mr. Bank, I have this house, it's worth 55 grand. You don't own it free and clear because there's liens against it. Now, I'm not responsible for those liens against it. The previous owner is, but I now own the land and the house. So now I have to go through the courts to get those liens removed or call up all the other liens and figure out something. So again, it varies wildly depending on what area you're in. For instance, a buddy of mine bought a $25,000 house for 90 bucks. How he got it for 90 bucks is for the past 3 years in a row, this house had come up for auction and nobody bid on it. On year 3, they said, we're never gonna get the money. We're gonna start at 90 bucks. Who wants it? And he bid. Well, after 3 years, he didn't have to wait the year. He got to take possession of the house immediately. Again, that was that house in that county, and that county's rules was there. So that's why you guys who are like, oh my gosh, I'm brand new to real estate investing, I have no idea what I'm doing, what can I do to get into real estate investing? Tax liens might be for you, but they come with a headache. Just like when I first got into real estate investing, I bought a portfolio of D properties that were super ghetto and crack housey and stabby. I bought a headache off the previous owners. Why? Because I, at the time, was poor, I could afford them, and I was willing to do the hustle. It was one of the only ways I could get into real estate investing. So I said, I'm gonna do it because I will put the sweat equity after my W-2 job and on the weekends to figure it out. Tax liens might be a simple way for you guys to do that. Now, that we talked about the positives. It's not all roses and rainbows and unicorns. Here are some of the downsides of taxes. You might have your money locked up for at least a year. Someone could burn the house down in the meantime. If you didn't do your due diligence, someone could have burned the house down right now, and you don't know, and you're bidding on a blank piece of land. That is possible. Another thing is, once you own and occupy the house, there's the additional paperwork that varies from county to county. Then you have to go through and do some kind of negotiations, or go through and do what's called a quiet claim or quiet deed reversal, where you then get all those liens removed from the tax record. There is lots of legwork involved, but I might buy a $55,000 house for $2,000. Those are real numbers. Those are not exaggerated numbers. And so that might be worth it to you. So the downside is there's a lot of legwork. The upside is it's an extremely low barrier of entry, but they are probably not as sophisticated as you. If you're watching me on YouTube right now, you're probably also aware of Biggerpockets. You're probably also aware of different people's coaching things. Go ahead and study up, brush up on them. You are probably more educated and more prepared to handle this than 90% of the people who are showing up Jim Bob in this pickup truck who just is looking for something to do on a Monday morning, right? Or they are real estate investors, but their mindset is stuck in the 70s and 80s. Oh my God, I would never, in the 90s I would have gotten this house for $300, $500. I would never pay $4,000 for this. Okay, $4,000. My budget today is $5,000. If I had to go all in on one property for $5,000, I still bought a house for $5,000. That's insane, right? I can't even come close to that where I'm at. Another tip and trick for you guys. I live in a very populated county. Springfield, Missouri is right by me, and it is a very populated county. I'm not going to that auction. I'm not going anywhere near me. I'm going to the podunk towns that are within a drivable distance, within an hour drive of me, but no one's ever been to. No one wants to go to. Why? Because there's less sophisticated investors, there's less competition, and my $5,000, I'm just willing to pay more money for a worse house than the people who live there are, because they're not used to that, right? I'm literally scope creeping into their territory to compete against them in their neck of the woods. That's worth it to me to do that. So we're gonna take you along for the ride. Let me know anything else that you wanna see. And if you want business, finance, subscribe to this channel. Again, I have a secondary channel. If you're like, oh, I normally am here for gardening, I've moved all my gardening and homesteading and permaculture stuff to my second channel. It's linked right here, Homestead and Hobbies. All right, guys, we'll see you next time.